Both sheets are today. Okay. Is everything Ishvara, or is everything a reflection of Ishvara? For example, if the sun is shining in pots filled with water, we see the reflection of the sun in the pots. It does not mean that I am seeing many suns in the pot. I have a difficulty in understanding the limitless concept explained. I see Ishvara, the Supreme God, as limitless. However, I, as Atman, is limited. Based on the above example, since I see myself as a reflection, could you please offer clarity on the above understanding? Since I see Ishvara possesses the supreme intelligence to create an intelligent universe. Okay. Is everything Ishvara or is a reflection of Ishvara? Everything is Ishvara. The idea of a reflection, you take it this far. When you see a reflection, what's a reflection? Light. Correct? Is the light any different from the light which is reflected? I'll give another example, right? This comes from the thinking. There is reflected consciousness, there is reflected media, reflection media, all these ideas are there. These are all to explain our way we feel. Now let me ask you something. You step out in the night, on a full moon night. Do you see light or not? Okay. Does that light belongs to what? The moon? Correct or not? Start with the moon. Now I ask you, moonlight belongs to what? The sun. So can I say it is sunlight or not? Is it a reflection of sunlight or is it sunlight? Obviously, what you are seeing in the morning as sun, it looks very different. And what you see in the night as moon is very different. The intensity, the heat, the color. Therefore, poets have a gala time romanticizing the moonlight and showing the sun as harsh, right? But what's the reality? There is only one light. The sunlight alone is same way. Suppose I have a tiny, a tiny Sony World radio, small radio, FM receiver, and I play something on it. And I have the same on a large scale Bose music system, right? One will sound very different. The quality, the richness, everything will be different. That's what Bose is well known for, right? Now, does it mean that the two are very different? What's the reality of both finally? Same music playing, right? The difference in the difficulty in all examples is that when you talk of reflection, there is something which gets reflected. There is a reflecting media which reflects, and there is a reflection. There are three things involved, right? That three makes you wonder, how can it all be one? Right? But the fact is what? The same light that comes through the sun shines brilliantly. If it comes through the moon, it shines differently. If it comes through a layer of clouds, it shines differently. What are the clouds? The whole solar system is nothing but the sun. Right? But all these examples will always fall short. The best example I tell you is you go to your dream. There is no better example to understand this. You tell me, there are 15 people there. Is the consciousness of any one of those people discussing Ishvara in your dream, is it different from you? Is your consciousness bigger than their consciousness? Is it smaller? Is it different? Is it? Or is there only one? There's only one. That's what you need to understand. See, the entire Upanishads begins with what? What is the vision? Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam. It is not, I want to continue Ishvara Jiva Bheda. That Bheda, the division, is the killer. Because if you have a division, you tell me, where will we place the I if we have a division? No, nobody takes this for I, do we? Anybody thinks this is me? Nobody does, right? Where do you have the I confusion? Here. It begins here alone, right? In this body, mind, sense complex, you have an I. If this is I, means you have drawn a boundary now. This far and no more. Then when you say this is I, what are you saying? When you say this is I, what are you saying? Everything else is not I. How big is you and how big is not you? You have hardly any, suppose you had, Swamiji would love to show this diagram of the comparative sizes. You have the solar system, right? Earth, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Sun. So if you look at that comparison, Earth in front of the Sun becomes tiny. Now if you bring a big galaxy, where is the Earth? You can't even have a pixel to represent it, even on a high resolution screen. Therefore, if this is what I am, then what will I be? Limited. The whole world is out against me. Therefore, what will I be? Samsari. I want to be significant. Therefore, the entire vision of the Upanishad is to remove this notion. Do not take this body, which is the same truth, but expresses in a responsive way. Therefore, we say, we talk of an anupravesha. This is to explain, okay? First, this is like a story. First, Ishvara created the world and the bodies out of himself, okay? Then what did he do? He entered into them. What happens when he entered? The bodies become enlivened. But how does he enter? Two examples are given. One is like a razor placed in a razor case. If you understand, old barber's kit, right? There's a razor which is an essential tool for him, and he puts it in a bag. In India, it's a bag, not a case. Now, in the bag, the razor occupies a given space. It does not occupy the whole bag. This is one example. This example shows you how there is an individual consciousness appearing, distinct, discrete. And the second example is like fire in wood. Fire, unmanifest fire in wood. Where is it? Where is fire in the wood? Is it in a given location? The whole wood is pervaded by it, right? Same way, the whole thing is Ishvara. But there is one expression of it which is extra, kind of extra. See, another example given is this, since the word is talking about reflection. Suppose you are sitting out with sun shining, and I give you a mirror, and there's a wall in front of you. Do you see the wall? Don't use the mirror. Do you see the wall? You do. Now you take the mirror and you hold it like the sun is coming this way. What will happen? You will have a reflection. Can I put that reflection on the wall? Yes? What do you see on the wall then? A bright patch moving around. What is that bright patch? It is original sunlight plus the mirror's reflected light. Correct? Extra bright. What is the mirror's light? Sunlight alone. What do you see is sunlight alone. Okay? So in the same way, what is only Ishvara. Okay? I hope it is clear. Swamiji mentioned that I learned to ignore another person's actions, karma. These actions that create a hurt or insult to me. how is it possible when such actions of that person creates insecurity, danger to me or my family members? See, hurt and insult don't create a danger to you in my mind. Hurt is very individual, you know. So suppose somebody says to me, you are so dull. You don't understand anything quickly. I might get, hey, what do you think? I don't understand? I understand very well. But some other day I will be saying what? I'm so dull. If I say it, you should all be kind to me. You should say, yeah, you're not dull. I'll feel good. But if you say it, ninja will come out. Correct? Why? Because I am unable to accept myself when you say dull. So Pujya Swamiji would say sometimes, what is the problem if he calls you dull? He is calling this Buddhi dull. Buddhi is dull. What's the big deal? I am not dull. Buddhi is dull. Who sees the Buddhi is dull? I see it. Are you dull? You see the pot. Are you the pot? No. So how can you be dull? He says dull, okay, we agreed. That's one way of looking at it. The second thing is, see, what's being said here is this. What is hurt or insult? When someone says something which I am unable to accept, even if it's the truth, right? In fact, if it is not the truth, it won't bother me much, right? Let's take an example. Suppose somebody says, okay, to a very thin person, how come you're so fat? You're as big as a bison. If I were to say, what will you say to me? Are you okay? That's what you'll say to me. But if I say to a relatively, chubby fellow, hey, you are like a bison, what will he say? I'm not like that. He has to say that because there is one part of him which relates to what I'm saying. He does think I am fat, but he doesn't want you to say that. So Swamiji used to say, suppose three guys are going, Tom, Dick and Harry. All right? Hey, Tom, if you call, who will turn back? Tom will turn back. Hey, Harry, who will turn back? Harry. Then third is what? Dick. Hey, Dick, who will turn back? Dick. Now if I say, hey, John, who will turn back? Nobody. I say, hey, idiot, who will turn back? You see where our understanding lies? Somewhere deep down, we do believe we are idiots. Therefore, that makes me look and say, maybe he's calling me. Otherwise, you won't turn back. And that's what hurts. You believe somebody else's idea of you, and you don't want it that way. But you do have a doubt you may be there. If you have no doubt, as I told you, you will dismiss it. You will dismiss it. So that's how it is. All right? So essentially what we have to understand is this. When somebody says, if such actions create danger, insecurity to me, danger, insecurity, etc. is physical, I will say you protect yourself. Until we have jnana, we have to do something. But typically our problem is not physical. There is no physical hurt. The hurt is somebody didn't look at me. Somebody didn't talk to me. Somebody didn't smile at me. Somebody smiled at me in a way which was demeaning to me. This is all imagination, okay? A lot of it could be imagination. What did Swamiji say? That is that person's view of me. Unless you subscribe to the same view, like somebody calls a thin fellow a bison, I don't subscribe. So what I say? Something's wrong with you. But if I subscribe to it, I get up. So the problem does not lie in the person's statement. The problem lies in my own self-image. It is low self-esteem, and that needs to be addressed by understanding what it is, right? Or to say, he is calling me fat. In his view, this body is fat. It is fatter than other bodies. It's okay. It's okay. What does it matter? What does it matter if I'm fat? It's okay. But if it matters, then we have to deal with it. And that was being said by saying others, ways of talking to you. Ignore means what? See, better than the word is saying learn to ignore. I won't say learn to ignore. I would say learn to be objective to it. Learn to accept it. Ignore means I want to look away. Look away means it's true. Therefore, I have to ignore it. Right? But I look at it in the face and say, in his perception, I am like this. That's his perception. He has a background. He is entitled to his perception. I will say, Dirghayushman Bhava. You think like that only. No problem. Where's the problem? But if I internalize it, I have a problem. And that is where Vedanta is trying to address, saying you be objective to yourself. Brahman comes later. First learn to be objective to what is. Uttar Pradesh has a sannyasi as its chief minister. Is this an encouraging sign for society? Or should a sannyasi be prohibited from entering politics? I am not interested in entering politics. This politics, okay? See, the fact is what? You have to first understand what is sannyasi. A sannyasi in the real spirit is one who has given up everything for the pure pursuit of jnanam. He will not go into vyavahara. All right? So, let's not enter the topic. It's not our subject matter. I'll leave it out. Okay? Why is truth understood differently by different realized souls like Ramanuja Swami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Adi Shankaracharya ji? Didn't hear the question? Should I read again? I'll read again. Why is truth understood differently by different realized souls like Ramanuja Swami ji, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Adi Shankaracharya ji? Is a sadhaka expected to read, follow everyone to understand the truth? Suppose you follow three who say three different things. Which way will you go? You will do this. Your neck will start aching after a while, okay? Because one is this side, one is here, one is there. You keep turning. You can't hold your neck anywhere. No. Suppose you go to a physics school, physics teacher in Delhi. I go to a physics teacher in Chennai. Somebody else goes to a physics teacher in Bangalore. Will they say three different things? If they say three different things, what should I have to do? Which teacher is wrong, I have to see, okay? You understand? Reality can only be one. If we are looking into what is the temperature at which water boils, one says it boils at 90, one says 95, one says 105, one says 100. What should I do? Swami, should I accept all four? You can't. Right? Now you check. Maybe all four are wrong. All four can't be right. Only one can be right. Because truth is as good as the object. What are we discussing here? We are not discussing what you think and what I think. I like orange. What do you like? That's not our discussion. There you have choice. I'm asking, what is this color? What is this color? Better than this, what is this color? No confusion, okay? Orange, you might say, have different shades. What is this color? Is there any doubt? Somebody says, no, Swami, I think it is red. What should I do? I'll have to ask him, what do you mean by red? Maybe he's colorblind, he sees this as red. I don't know. Right? But the whole point is, truth is only one. Therefore, if four people say it, all four cannot be right. So you cannot expect me to follow all four teachers. It's not possible. I can, assuming they are all saying the same thing, but they're saying it from perspective. Like I told you what? One shows me the house plan, floor plan. One shows me elevation. One shows me isometric view. All are the same. That I can see. Potential exists. Because you are showing the same thing. Pot, you want to show a pot. Looking from top, how will it look? It will look like two circles. Top view. Right? Look from the side, it will look like a rectangle. Right? If you look like this, you will show it different dotted lines, you will show with the whole. These are all different views. Into what? One thing. So these are all views. They are called views. Top view, isometric view, perspective view. And what do we want? Before points of view, we want the view. The view means you know the whole thing. Now you can look at it any way you want. Correct? So why, now the questioner's question is, why is truth understood differently? You tell me why it's understood. How can truth be understood differently? If truth is understood, how can it be understood differently? You can only say, how come truth is misunderstood? You can't say understood differently. Truth cannot be understood differently. Not misunderstood, sometimes incompletely understood. With all due respect to all the names mentioned, okay? Is this a pot or not? Am I wrong if I call it a pot? I'm not wrong. Am I wrong if I call it clay? Now, so suppose somebody called this a pot, one person. Another fellow called it clay. Who should you follow? Who should you follow? If you say pot, that's a truth which can be improved upon. Right? You can go one step further. What is this? Kurta. Go one step further. What is it? Fabric. Go one step further. What is it? Cotton. Go one step further. What is it? You can keep going. So this is what called param. Each transcends the previous. Pervades and transcends. When you say transcends, it completely pervades but is different. Right? So if you look at it that way, then pot is real. Pot, this is a pot, is okay. But this is a pot and nothing else. The pot is truth. Then you have to ask, what is the definition of truth? Person is saying, why truth is understood. What is my definition of truth? You should keep our definition of truth in mind, not what you see, not what you hear. What is truth? Trikalepi tishtati, that which is in all three periods of time. And abadhyam, means that abadhitam satyam, that which cannot be negated. You tell me, what can you not negate? Absolutely. No. You can negate Ishvara, you can be Nastika. Okay? Not knowing what I mean by Ishvara, but what even a Nastika cannot negate. The fellow who negates cannot negate himself. What chance does he have? No chance, right? So when you go there, you tell me, can I, see if there are three fellows, see many times what happens, three fellows, we have, I'm sorry, I'm using the word fellows, I mean acharyas, okay? A little loose here. But if there are acharyas who disagree, what is our old way of dealing with it? You sit together, one person states his point, the other answers it. Then second point raised, it's answered. It's called Purvapaksha Siddhanta. But yet, is the other fellow convinced? He may not have an answer back to you. Therefore, when he keeps quiet, we call that a point of defeat. Or if you change your stance, your hypothesis, we call that a point of defeat. Nigraha sthanam. In Nyaya they will call it Nigraha sthanam. Means at that point, you lost your shirt. If you come back with a new assumption, it's a new argument. Right? But the fact is, you had to rework, means you are not clear. But even when you can't answer, you may say, I don't know how to answer you, but I don't agree with you. That's called what? That's holding to something without reason. That's fanaticism. A fanatic is what? One who has no reason to back up what he believes in. That's how I say it. Okay. Then we have nothing to argue. You keep your belief, I'll keep mine. See, belief you can have yours, I can have mine, but don't call it truth. If you call it truth, there can be only one truth. It cannot be different.
Hello? Yeah. So in a seeker's path, can he still see the Dvaita perspective as a stage to reach to attain the Advaita state?
See, the fact is this, all of us begin with Dvaita only, right? What is Dvaitam? I am the subject and there's an object other than me. That much is Dvaitam. That will be there all the way. Even after Advaitam, the Dvaita Vyavahara, Dvaita experience will not go. This should be very clear. When an experience is the basis for reality, when perception is the basis for reality, Dvaita cannot go. We are never negating the perception of two. What are we negating? The conclusion that since I perceive subject-object, the subject is different from the object is being negated. And how do we negate it? You are saying, I see, therefore it is. What do we say? I see, therefore it doesn't exist. If you see something, it's an object. It comes and it goes. What comes and goes is not Satyam. Then there is no Satyam, there is Satyam. That which cannot be negated is you don't go. That's the way we look at it. Therefore, Dvaitam will be there. And now what happens after some time? You can't say, I am Ishvara, but you're saying, okay, I'm willing to go with a compromise. What is that? I am part of Ishvara. That seems better, you know. It seems much more palatable. Ishvara is a huge thing. I'm a part of it, fraction of it. I am what? Bhrityasya, 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 Bhrityaha. Means servant of a servant of a servant. So what's the prayer? Make me a blade of grass in Vrindavan. That's a prayer. Really, do you want to be a blade of grass? This is all romantic idea. Do you want to be a blade of grass or do you want to be a human being? What do you want to be? And if you are separate from the Lord, what do you want? You look at the visions that, you know, the way it's looked at. You have, what is the goal in a typical Hindu Dvaita system? You have the Salokyam, right? Sayujyam is the final one, right? Sarupyam, correct. Salokyam, Sarupyam, Samipyam, Sarupyam, and then Sayujyam. What does it mean? What do these words mean? Salokyam. Where is Bhagavan? Udar, in heaven. Vaikuntham. He is sitting in Vaikuntha, Vaikunthdham. So what is my goal in life? First goal, let me get to Vaikuntha. That is called Salokyam. Now I am in the same country as Bhagavan. Not far away from me, but far away. Now what should I do? Samipyam. I go closer. But there are people who are closer than me. And they all look like Bhagavan. I don't look like him. I look different. So what should I do? I should also have Shankachakra. They brand themselves. Right? So now you became what? Samipyam, then Sarupyam. So if you will see in a Vishnu temple, the guards will look exactly like Vishnu or not. Sarupyam. Right? And then finally what? What's his next goal? Sayujyam. What is Sayujyam? You become one with him. Do you become one with him with your individuality or without your individuality? If it's with individuality, Dvaitam is retained. If individuality is gone, what remains? Advaitam alone. You want Advaitam, but you want to stick on that I am different. This is the problem. Right? So what Pujya Swamiji will say, suppose the fellow, Bhakta, manages to do Sayujyam keeping individuality. How will he be like? He will be like the amoeba in the intestine. Then what will Bhagavan do? He will take flagell. Okay? All right. We'll leave it there. If one is content with what we have, what will drive us to work more and better? Look, if one is content with what one has, what one has, what will drive us to work for more and better? If you are content with a limited edition of you, then you have to work harder. Because you can become, see, when you say, what will drive us to work more and better? See, more and working more, no, working for the better is better. You think you will become better, correct? If you think you can become better, then you are not contented. Exactly, that's a paradox in the question, okay? If you think you can become better, you are not contented. If you are contented, either you think you cannot become better, right? Or really you can't become better. Two possibilities. If you think you can't become better, then when you wake up, you'll say, oh ho, bus missed, I have to become better. You'll again get up and start running. And if you really believe you never woke up, you will die contented. Doesn't matter. If you're, see, what is the problem? What are you looking for through anything? To be contented. If you are contented, what's the problem? I'll tell you what the problem is. If you think you are contented when you are not actually contented, even if you lived this life very well, see, contentment is of two kinds, right? The difference between sattva and tamas is very thin. Sattva is knowledge. Tamas is ignorance. The difference between the two is very thin. The fellow who is ignorant is in bliss. The fellow who has knowledge also is in bliss. The fellow who knows, arahore, half-baked, that fellow is in trouble. Adhjal gagari chhalakat jaye. Correct? If a pot is half full, it makes noise. Fully, no noise. Empty, no noise. But is the empty the same as full? It's not. So if I die away foolishly, thinking I'm contented, then what does Veda say? When this body is dropped, I will be born again. And when I'm born again, since I have wasted one human life, Bhagavan will say next time Gadha bano. Be an ass. Why should you come back to human life? You wasted one. Karma phala, okay? Bhagavan is not determining arbitrarily. It's your karma phala. So I'm saying, what do we say? This human birth is very precious. So when you come, you make use of it to gain what you can gain only with a human birth. Therefore, moksha is to be gained. Right? So there is nothing wrong if you know that you are the only reality. Ishavasyam idam sarvam, and aham Ishvaraha, if you know, you better be content. There is no reason for discontentment. Why is discontentment possible? Because there is something more you can accomplish. If everything is you, what can you accomplish? What is to be accomplished is you. What more can you accomplish? Therefore, this idea that discontentment is the mother of invention is the mother of all lies. Okay? Discontentment is not the mother of all inventions. Discontentment is not the truth of progress. That you want to do more, you can do. But discontentment, you can also commit suicide. You can become depressed. How can discontentment be the key to progress? It can't be. Key to progress is your thinking, your effort. Because you don't accept discontentment, you do something, then it's okay. But discontentment is not enough. Okay? So that idea myth you should correct in your head. Why is it that people in general want to behave less than their actual age? For example, people in their 30s and 40s want to behave like teens in dressing up, talking, etc. People in their 60s want to behave they're just 30. Or is this an acquired desire or a natural desire? Of course, I too realize that I'm getting old and no one wants to age. Okay. But modifying behavior or speech or attire does not change age, correct? So how does it arise? And if that is the norm, why do kids get scolded for behaving beyond their age? Is it not a double standard in our society? If your problem is double standard in society, there's plenty of it. You're not going to fix it. Okay? If that's your problem, you're not going to fix it. But now come back to it. I don't know if this is really true that everybody in 30s, 40s want to behave like kids. It may be the person's experience, I'm not questioning that, but that's not my view of way of looking at it. Generally, you know what? Suppose you are 16, okay? And your father has 2 cars and 2 bikes. What do you want to do? You want to drive. When can you drive? 18. So you better be 18 soon. Right? You want to be 18. And secondly, what? This 15, 16, etc. Teen is a problem. The children think you're grown up. You can't join them. Adult says you're a kid. where do you belong? Dhobi ka kutta, you know. Na ghar ka, na ghat ka, you know, either here or not there. Therefore, what do you want to do? You don't want to go back. You want to join the league, okay? When can you drink? Adult. You need to be an adult. So you can join the club. Correct? So that requires you to become older. That's okay. But I think after that, you don't say you're young. You are okay. Then when you get to 50s, 60s, you don't want to show your age. So you do something to your hair, right? You do something to your teeth. You do something to your wrinkles. You cover them. But you know very well, every time you go in the bathroom and cover it up, you know you have to cover it up. You didn't cover it up. You know age is catching up. I have wrinkles. The more you look at yourself in the mirror, and you tell the mirror, 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 am I aging? Yes, you are. So it's difficult, right? But you know what? Go a little further. If the guy is 80, he doesn't like to say I'm 60. He doesn't like. He now says, I'm 100. A person who is very old wants to claim, say now, suppose a guy is 80. He walks around, it's not a big deal. He says, I'm 104. This man is 104. Look at how he is doing. He looks so young. What's the secret of your youth? So ultimately, what drives the fellow? He wants to be reckoned with. That self-acceptance in terms of age is not there. As a young person, I can't accept myself as too young, therefore I project myself as older. I can't accept myself not getting enough attention when I'm 80. How do I get more attention? By claiming I'm more old than I am. So what's the basic thing that drives you? An attempt to gain self-acceptance through the acceptance of others around you. That's what drives it. Okay? The tragic war in Ukraine seems totally incomprehensible to me. Okay? Putin has cruelly killed and orphaned tens of thousands in a war to satisfy his own ego. Okay? He seems like a modern day Duryodhana in the context of the Bhagavad Gita. Oh, is it possible to have an ounce of pity for Putin? Or does he rightly deserve to be destroyed like Duryodhana? You know, at the end, before this question begins, you should add one thing. In my perception. You add that one statement. Then this question is valid. How do you know what Ukraine is doing? How do you know what Putin is doing? You ask Trump. He will tell you it's all fake news. It's all fake. Who do you believe? Who do you believe? And you read Russian. You know what? Russia has, I don't know, okay, long ago, they had two newspapers. What are they called? One is called Pravda, and the other one, No. Pravda and Izvestia, I think. Anyone who knows Russian here, by any chance? No. I think it's Pravda and Izvestia. Somebody can Google it. Izvestia, I think. Okay. Pravda means news, okay? I remember the meanings, okay? Pravda means news. Izvestia means truth. So what they say, you know, Pravda is not Izvestia. Izvestia is not Pravda. This is the old saying in Russia. What is news is not the truth, and what is truth is not the news. So, see, these views are based on what we know, and what we know today is colored by media. Who will you listen to? What will Russia say? They will say we are out to do a special military operation, whatever that might be. But what's the fact? You have to look at it differently, right? If you were a Russian, what would you say? The questioner. If you were Ukrainian, what would you say? It's all a point of view based on seeing things in a given light. We don't have enough information to judge any of these people. So I will not sit on judgment on anybody. But the truth should prevail. That is right. And if it is whoever is not doing what is right, if they are doing himsa, they will pay for it. Whether they pay for it here or not, Adrishta will catch up. There is no escaping Bhagavan's order. Okay? See, these are things which take away our mind. You open a day's newspaper, and now, especially if you're retired, you have good time to discuss all these with another person who is retired. Neither of you are going to win the argument. You can talk about it till the cows come home. What have you achieved? We agree to disagree. So what? What did you gain? No Purushartha. Zero. We should know. You generally want to be informed, it's okay. But if you are interested in Moksha Purushartha, you think whether this is a good use of your time. Okay? Vyavahara is okay, but all I'm saying, you cannot make definitive views on this because we don't know. This is exactly what the media tries to do. This is why media is so valuable these days. You know, you see media changing hands in India. Right? NDTV changed hands recently. This is not all just a joke. It means you will shape the political view in the landscape. And why do you think Twitter is so important? Why was Twitter so important for Trump? Because he bypasses the mainstream media. And therefore, what did the mainstream media do? They went all the way to make sure Trump doesn't come back. Because if he comes back, their power is all gone. Now, who is right? Is Fox News right? Is NSBC right? Is CNN right? You never know. You heard about Iraq. What did they say? WMD. Who said that? Bush. What did he say before that? No new taxes. And you know what they said? He didn't say that. He said, no new Texans. Because he did add taxes later. So the point is, they can do whatever they want, all right? And just because CNN says it 999 times, we all believe that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. If it was there, why was it not found? I'm just giving you instances to show that we don't know the truth. Okay? Duryodhana is a clear-cut case, because we have the whole story from Mahabharata. And what's the clear-cut case? He's an Atatayi. Atatayi means what? If you take away somebody's land, you burn somebody, you give poison to somebody, all these are called Atatayi, and they were to be awarded the capital punishment. That is Dharma Shastra. So in that case, the Yuddha was Dharma Yuddha. Here we can't be sure what is Dharma, what is. See, take India, Pakistan, don't go to Ukraine. You ask Pakistan who is at error. They will say India. You ask India who is at error. All of us, what will you say? Will we ever say Pakistan at right, we are wrong? Will we say China is aggressing on the border, or will we say we are aggressing? And what will Chinese say? Why? Why? What is your worldview? What the Indian press tells you is the truth. Chinese press cannot be the truth for you. And if you believe the Chinese press, what will immediately somebody say? You are a traitor. Because you are on their side. And therefore, you have to politically be smart. You can't be a traitor. So this is all this is Vyavahara. This is all one-upmanship and games in politics. We don't want to get there, okay? The knowledge of Vedas was kept for a limited set of people, adhikaris in Vedic society. Okay. Now it is open to everybody. Now it is open to everybody. Vedas. What is your opinion on this? Will it benefit? How? There is so much knowledge and so easily accessible, but still we see so many who are deprived of it. Do we say it's a nature's order? See, knowledge was limited, etc., is a way of looking at it, okay? Who should teach in a school? A person who knows subject matter or not? Yes. So now let us say you allow everybody to teach. How will it be? You will have then 4 different physics. We'll go back to our first question, okay? The point is, anything requires competence, core competence, right? So if there is competence, then one can do something. Now, in society, I'm expecting that the question is alluding to, limited set of people means, who is it limited to? Veda. Trivarnikas. Really not Brahmanas, Trivarnika. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Three Varnas had got the duty to study Veda. In time it has become Brahmanas, leave that. And then who is not allowed? Shudra. And what was said? See, the Veda's view was this. What is important is every human being is Ishvara, potentially. He is Ishvara, just has to know, I am that. That's the view of Veda. I want you to grow. Veda is Sahasra Matrivat Hitaishini. As caring for, as one mother would care for a child, her child, if there were 1,000 mothers' love in one place, that would be the Veda. What does it want? It only wants the best for its children, which is all of us, right? So what will it do? It wants you to grow to moksha. How will it help you do that? It says, one who is capable of doing it, you go this way. If you're capable of this, do this. What's important is you're a contributor. You're not just a consumer, you are also a contributor. And how should you contribute? In a way in which you have core competence. Right? Therefore, whether we accept or not, even today, in every society, you do have people of four types. Right? One who are buddhijivis, correct? Then there are people who have to use the bahubalam, right? Then there are people who are into trading and commerce. All this is still happening. And there are people who do the work like, lesser work. In today's world, you might say, the people who probably are just delivery boys or something, they'll come and deliver your parcel. What is their role? They have a role. Now, what was said is this. Look, the goal is to grow into the wholeness. What you do, what work you do is not so important. With what attitude you do. Yoga is an attitude. We saw that in the evening today, right? That makes a difference. Therefore, what is said, depending on your competence, they said, these are your duties. These are your duties. You do this. How should you do it? Do it like you're offering to the total. Do it with all your heart, because that is your contribution to the total. So Swamiji used to give an example. There's a machine, a lathe machine, right? What does it have? A moving part, right? It could be a piston, it could be lathe, doesn't matter. You have a moving part. And to hold the moving part in place, you have something that are fixed, right? And a nut, which is holding things in place, starts to think. Why I am deprived of an opportunity to move around, like the piston? I should also move around. It had a free will of its own, let's say. Then it decided, okay, I've had enough. I have been holding my foot for a long time. I'm tired of standing here. This piston doesn't stop moving. Why should I keep standing here? I will also move. What will happen after a while? What will happen after a while? There is no machine. Because when this nut which holds things in place falls apart, there is nothing to hold the piston in place to even move. So if everybody wants to do everything, what will happen? You will have confusion, which is happening today already. We don't know today, children don't know what they should do because everything is open to you. What should you do? We had a clean system wherein you are born, this is your assignment, this is your assignment. That's how it was. I mean, it is said that it was earlier competence-based. You went to the Gurukulam and then it was decided where you go. So there is some value. So now it's open to all, open to all just means it's open to reading. You don't understand anything anyway. Right? Veda is a matter of Shraddha or Karmakanda. And after that, Jnanam is an open secret. Even if we tell you in class, you won't understand. So where's the problem if it's open? Even when we teach for 5 years, we don't understand, right? Where's the problem? So, Google also has a lot of knowledge. Will it help? You think about it. Okay? To be fair to the question, I'm just saying, look, The benefit of any knowledge depends on how much you understand. And is it something that your values and your life reflects? If you take to a life of dharma, it will benefit people for sure. Does not having a guru, master, help us to progress faster? Oh. Then what is the best way to conduct one's life? Now that we have a guru and we have found a path. Am I reading it correctly? Let me read again. Does not having a guru, master, help us progress faster? Then, but I don't understand the then now. Then what is the best way to conduct one's life? Which means now that we are stuck with a guru. What steps did you take when you found a guru? Why should I tell you that? It's a mistake? That's what I thought. Didn't seem right. Okay. Huh? Doesn't, is it? No, read again. Oh, fair enough. Thank you. Yeah. Fair enough. Sorry, whoever wrote the question is not blamed, okay? I read, therefore I was saying what's going on here. Okay. So doesn't having a guru master help us progress faster? Okay. We have a statement in the Upanishad. Acharyavan Purusho Veda. Acharya means a guru. The statement of the Upanishad is, one who has an Acharya knows. It doesn't say will know. It says knows. That's the confidence of the Shruti in a guru. But then who is a Shishya? That's the question, It is not the person, physical bodies. If I say this is my guru, it should be my thinking has become that of my guru. That is Acharya one. Otherwise, what is Acharya? What Acharya is there? He tells me, you please get up early in the morning, every day early. Do your Pratah Sandhya Vandanam at 4 in the morning, get up. And what do? One day in the week I get up. 4 days I sleep. Am I a Shishya? I am, but an apology of a Shishya. Right? So that having a guru will help if the guru is proper. See, first we have to understand what is guru. Guru better be one who knows what he is talking about. Assuming that is true, in this pursuit, help us progress faster. Speed, let's leave out. Will you go on the right track? That's more important. So you know what? What is the teaching? Not that you will become Brahman, you will become Ishvara. What is the teaching? You are Ishvara. How much time is involved? What is faster and what is slower in this? You are Ishvara. What is the delay? Tasya tavadeva chiram. If you understood, this body will drop and then you have Videha Mukti. But the point is what? I understand the questioner's view, okay? Should it help you progress? I would say it should help you progress if you're able to do what is to be done. Guru can tell you everything. But whether you can do everything is a different story. Right? So Guru, see, in Taittiriya Upanishad it says, Satyam vada dharmanchara swadhyaya anma pramadaha. It tells you all this. Everybody is told in the Gurukula, all the people who studied Veda for 12 years and they are leaving. Why is it told? Why is it told? Now, do I have to tell you, please don't put a burning fire ember into your mouth. Do I have to tell you? Do I have to tell you? No. Why not? Because nobody will do it. Nobody. But I have to tell you what? Suram na pibet. Don't take alcohol. Why should I tell you? Because there's a possibility. Are you in the army? There's a higher possibility. Because you get liquor cheaper. Right? There's a higher possibility. So, when there's a possibility, Vidhi Nisheda has to come. There is no need for a direction if there's none. So, Satyam Vada is when it comes? When there is a pressure for me to lie. Correct? So when will the Guru Adesha help me? If I can grow to that person who won't lie, who won't do adharma. To the extent I can follow the Guru's Adesha, to that extent I will move at least in the right track. Progress in this spiritual pursuit, as Swamiji said, can you measure progress? Yes. How? By seeing whether you feel contented, self-acceptance, how is it? Is it improving? Is it not improving? But you should not do it too often and brand yourself, I am slow. Mandoham. Even Tikakara will use the word Manda Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari. All these words, Puja Swamiji would say, don't. Why? You are just an Adhikari. Why do you brand yourself as Manda? Because that puts you down. Gita's Upadesha is what? Uddharet Atmana Atmanam Na Atmanam Avasadayet. Don't put yourself down. Lift yourself up. Don't judge yourself needlessly. If you are not good, be objective. What is not good? I am not good is not right. I don't do this particular thing well. I want to do it well. Do it. I am not bad. I am not good. I only have certain areas of strength and certain weaknesses. Right? So now, what is the best way to conduct one's life? Now that we have found a Guru, I have told you, whatever the Guru says, Jo Guru chahe, sohi kariye. Guru aagya mein nis din rahiye. Means, follow what is told by a teacher. You know the story? In the Upanishad, you have a story which kind of tells you what it is. So there's a young boy who goes to the Guru, and he wants to study. He's gone there, and the Guru tells him and calls him and says, come on, see these cows? You take them. Take them for grazing. Take good care of them. And he says, I will only come back when they become 1,000. They are 400 or so. They present as a mathematical problem. How do you solve this problem? You have 400 cows, when it will become 1,000? But he is just totally devoted to it. Right? And then it's presented in the Upanishad as the environment, the fire, the elements come in as teachers and teach him something. Right? This is in Chandogya. And finally, the bull, the head bull that in the herd tells him, we are now 1,000. It's counting as though, okay? And says, now it's time to go back to the Guru. He comes back. And the Guru says, looks like you already know. Somebody's taught you. So many elements have taught him, But then there's a statement there that, but only when it comes from a Guru, that truth really gets understood. Right? So the point is that Shishya's dedication to what the Guru says is very much. See, here what happens. Suppose you say, all of you come for a camp. Very nice. Now I say, Guru Seva, please take care of our cows for 5 days. How many of you will do it? Take care of our cows. We don't have that many, okay? But I'm just saying, what would we say? Swamiji, Seva is okay if half an hour, but we didn't come to do Seva. Isn't that what we will say? So we accept a teacher only when he is acceptable to us. This is our modern, way of looking at things. But earlier, Guru's Vakya was total. There's another story like this, The story is, the Shishya is, Guru wants to bring some discipline to the Shishya. So he is sent to go get Bhiksha. Right? And the Guru says, he is not supposed to eat anything. Right? So the Guru says the fellow is not going weak, he is still strong. Hey, what do you do? After first he brings Bhiksha, but he is to eat. The Guru said, all Bhiksha you have to offer to the Guru. What he gives only you should take. All right, sir. Very honest boy. He gave it. Guru says after several days, he doesn't come for food. Guru doesn't give him anything and he is still, mota tagada. So then what do you do? Sir, I go for second round of Bhiksha. After I give you, I go ask again, I get some more, I eat it. Hey, that is not fair. You're hurting the villagers who are very kind to us. You should not do that. Okay, I won't do that. Again, he doesn't come back. Now what do you do? No, you send me for the cows, right? I just drink some milk. Hey, cows are Guru's property. You shouldn't do that. Okay, I won't do that. Still he doesn't come back. Now what are you doing? How come you're okay still? After the calf has drunk, some drips. I drink that. Hey, that you're cheating the calf now. You shouldn't do that. At every stage, the boy keeps agreeing. Right? And then, there's a point where he's gone somewhere, and in the night somehow he doesn't see things, he falls into a ditch, a deep ditch. And there he's praying to Ashwini Kumaras, the royal physician, the divine physicians. And they come and give him, a medicine. They say, there's a malpua. You take this. You eat it, you will be okay. He says, I cannot eat it. He says, it's a medicine, you'll be okay. Your eyes, he's gone blind actually. He's eaten some, because he was so hungry, he ate some leaves. And in the process, he went blind. So now he has got the medicine from the divine physicians. He says, no, I won't eat. Hey, even your guru will be okay with it. No, I won't. And then the guru comes looking for him and takes him back. And he gets his sight back without even taking that. Some story like this, okay? But what I'm saying is, that kind of Shraddha if we have, then definitely one will make progress. Because you're following the right instructions all the way. What steps did you take when you found a guru? How will what steps I took help you? I may have taken missteps too. No, I tried to do what my guru told me, okay? So nothing much to learn in that for you. What is the difference between consciousness, mind, and intellect? Okay, 9:10. I'll go max up to 9:30. Is that okay? Yeah. Oh, okay. Bhunjitha is Vidhiling form of Madhyama Purusha Ekvachanam in Atmanepada. Bhunj dhatu in Atmanepada means to enjoy, to eat. The sense to protect is only in Parasmaipada. Okay, Bhujyataha. Then I'm confused why Bhagavan Bhashyakara interpret Bhunjitaha as Palayetaha. I don't remember this offhand. Whose question is this? I will have to look it up before I comment on it, okay? Because offhand, I don't remember the sutras. I have to look at a bhashyam also. So this I will defer. Yeah, basically, there is one sutra which says when it is Atmanepada, you're right. Bhuj has both meanings. I have to look into it. I don't remember offhand. But if Bhashyakara says something, it will be right. We have to only understand why we don't see it that way. What is the difference between consciousness, mind, and intellect? See, consciousness is the very basis of the truth. Okay? Mind is considered, see, mind and intellect are both used for the, these are functional names of Antahkarana. The mind is said to be Sankalpa Vikalpatmika Manaha. Okay? Srinivasan, can you please switch this fan on for me? Thank you. So, the mind is that which vacillates. Emotions is all mind. What is buddhi? Nishchayatmika buddhi. Intellect is called nishchayatmika. It means it has a definitive view. That's all there is to it, okay? Tattva Bodha will tell you that. How does one control the mind to suppress constant flow of unnecessary thoughts while doing meditation? Don't try to control your mind. You cannot control the mind. In fact, Pujya Swamiji will say, you should drop the word control from your vocabulary. Because you can't control. You can be aware of the ways of the mind. That's the right way to look at it. You should be aware of the ways of the mind. So the problem is what? Flow of unnecessary thoughts while doing meditation. So I'm assuming you're talking of japa, where I'm saying you have to bring the mind back. What did I say? The mind better move. Suppose, the mind doesn't move. Now I'm looking at you. When I look here, that face is still stuck. I'll see two faces here or what? How will it work? Mind has to give you only one frame at a time. Otherwise, you can't do vyavahara. The mind must move. If there's a truck coming this way, I better see it. If there's a honk of a horn, I better know, right? Instantaneously I should react, respond to it. If there's a, if the, something is flying towards my eye, programmed, eyes will close, correct? So mind must move. Mind movement is not the problem. What is the problem? When I want the mind to stay with one thing, it takes up a voluntary action of moving to another. That's the problem. Involuntary, you can't stop. It hears a sound, it feels heat, cold, you can't stop it. But voluntary action, I should think of this or I should think of that, you have a choice. Now the question is, why does the mind move? Why does the mind move? One, because you have some unfinished agenda somewhere, right? So what does Krishna say? Arjuna asked this question. Durnigraham manaha. Why? It is like Vayu. You can't hold wind, Vayu dushkiram. So therefore, all that you said is fine, Krishna, but it is so difficult. What does Krishna say? You're right, Arjuna. Asamshayam mahabaho manah chanchalam. Right? But then how do you gain essay over it? Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Grihyate, you grasp it. You make your mind do what you want to do. How? One is vairagyam. What is vairagyam? You are not interested in anything else except what you want to do. Viraga. You are objective. Yes, there is a dog barking. Yes, somebody sitting next to you is snoring. I heard some snore today. Okay? Which means the meditation was working. He was very relaxed. Okay? No problem. I'll tell you what. If you slept and if you never slept like that, then meditation is doing some good work for you. You have to get over it, but it's still good. It's not bad. You relax. That's important. Right? Don't judge for that. But I'm saying the neighbor feels, I'm getting this fellow snoring. Can happen, So I try to increase my volume a little so the fellow will wake up. See, I open my eyes to see what's going on now and then. Right? But the point is, now, is it fair to get bothered by the fellow snoring near you or not? It's not in your choice. Why is this fellow, I want to do meditation, this fellow is snoring. What should we do? Grant him freedom to snore. You have to learn to do this, right? That is vairagyam. Granting freedom is vairagyam, objectivity. Swamiji's definition of vairagyam is objectivity. Objectivity is what? You don't reject, you don't quote, you don't condemn, you don't praise. It's just a matter of fact. This is how it is. That is vairagyam. Second thing is what? Even if you have vairagyam, chanchalam hi manah Krishna. What is chanchala? Chalati, chalati, bhrisham chalati. Iti chanchalaha. It's a Yanganta prayoga, I think, which means it will move. Therefore, like the muscles, if you don't exercise them, how will they be? Your biceps won't be appearing. But then the same fellow goes to gym. He does this several days. Then he comes out like what? Arnold Schwarzenegger. All muscles. Yoga won't do that. You have to do weights. Right? That's what it is. So how did he get it? Abhyasena. So our japa is mental gymnastics. Weights, mental weights, not gymnastics, mental weights. So you do the weights means what? You're growing your capacity to keep the mind where you want it. There is no other way to gain that capacity except by practice. Marathon runners would know. How do you train for a marathon? By running. How do you train for a short distance run? By running short distances. There is no substitute. So some things have to be practiced, abhyasa, and along with abhyasa you need what? Vairagyam. So it's like two sides of a scissor. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Don't try to control. Won't help. Talking about guilt, if one faces a very difficult situation in life, say in family or others, one states that it is because of bad karma or papa, then one starts saying, I am a papi, I am undergoing this mental or physical stress. This leads to guilt that one is a papi. how do we get over this as karma is committed in the past or previous birth? Okay. See, if one faces a difficult situation, then someone says it is because of bad karma. You know what's the purpose of this statement? Suppose you are facing a difficult situation. What will you do if you did not have this papa punya? Let's say you don't have any idea of papa punya. You are still sitting in a country where there is no Vaidika dharma. What will you do? Solving is one matter. What do you blame? Situation or you blame yourself? You blame yourself. When you blame yourself, what will happen? Will you do well or will you get even worse? Likely, you get worse, right? Then what do? I tell you, hey, you are not to blame. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to tell the person, you are not to blame. Why? Look, this is something which is the past catching up with you now. Long ago, you sowed a mango seed there. A plant has come. It has to come someday. Once you sow a seed, a plant will come. When the favorable situation comes, it will germinate. It will germinate. It's germinated. Now you do whatever you want to do. But it's germinated. Don't cry over it. It's papa. It's not something you did now. It's some old karma which is catching up. This is like a shock absorber. It's to help you absorb the shock by saying it's not your doing now. Correct? Now if you say that gives me a new guilt, I'm a papi, right? Then, what you need to understand is this. That label I'm a papi, I'm undergoing, see, I'm a papi if you start saying, that should not be a reason for guilt. What is guilt? If you did something knowingly, Swamiji said the other day, right? If you did something deliberately, he didn't even say knowingly, deliberately a mistake is committed, knowing it is wrong, then only you have guilt. So you may be frustrated because I'll tell you, we see situations where people seem to have all the bad luck. Nothing seems to work well for somebody in life. You can see sometimes. And then you ask an astrologer, he says this is a hopeless jatakam. Nothing you can do about it. This fellow is in trouble. What can you do for him? You can tell him some nice words, but prayer may help. That's all they will say. Right? So when such a situation comes, the fellow obviously feels frustrated. Correct? But if he wants to do something about it, then what should he do? He should see the fact this is all done. What can I do now? What can I do now? Thinking I'm a papi does not do. See, sometimes what happens, now you know what? You declare, I'm a papi. I'm an idiot. Better than papi, I'm an idiot, let's say. It gives you a license to remain an idiot. See, if you give yourself a label, now you can continue to be an idiot. So papi, therefore you can continue to do badly and blame everything on that. No. We say, yatha hi ekena chakrena na rathasya gatir bhavet evam purushakarena vina daivam na siddhyati. The chariot has two wheels. One is called Daivam, Punya Papa of the past. Another is called what? Purushartha, current, free will. Both these make the chariot move. Or you can look at free will and your past karma. Past free will is past karma. Are two vectors. If two vectors are acting on an object, what will be the resultant? You tell me. Both in terms of direction and magnitude. What will be direction? What will be the resultant? It depends on the direction and magnitude of the individual vectors. Correct? So what should you do? You strengthen the vector which you need to. One vector is given. You can't do anything. Other vector is in your hand. Do something about it. That's the right attitude. To blame yourself, to cry over it doesn't help. But that's how one feels. If one is not able to get out, pray. Pray to Bhagavan, surrender and say, Sharanagatoham. So, you see all this, have you seen this Shiva Kshamapana Stotram, Devi Kshamapana Stotram? What will it say? Aham Dinaha, Aham Papi. It will say all this. I didn't do anything right in my life. At every stage I messed up. So it will start balye. Then, what do you do in Yavana? You see that Shiva Aparadha Kshamapana Stotram. You'll see all this. So that stotra is meant to show what is the right way to do what at the right stage, not to show what all aparadhas are done, really. But the point is, when I don't have anything else, what do I say? Sharanam me tava. Tava charanam is sharanam mama. That's all this. That's the final place you can go. Or you can go to the pub. That's not where we want to go. Okay? How do I identify my spiritual growth other than maturity through age and experience? See, spiritual growth, first define what is spiritual growth. I would say, if you are following the pursuit we are talking here, the spiritual pursuit means, finally Jnanam is the only solution. But for Jnanam, what do we need? We need a prepared mind, a prepared person, more than mind. See, otherwise mind becomes a whipping boy. I should be an adhikari. I should be qualified. And what does that mean? What is the qualification? Samaha sukheshu dukkheshu. So, mana apamanayoho, sukha dukkhayoho. What should you do? Samatvam yoga uchyate. Definition of yoga is, that attitude of yoga is what? Samatvam yoga uchyate. What is samatvam? Samatvam is a relative sameness of a response in the face of different stimulus or situations. Situations which are normally considered favorable, situations which are considered unfavorable, situations which are neutral. In all of them, my response is what? Can it be absolutely the same? Hard. So Swamiji would say, if you get what you wanted, Swamiji, prasada. Prasada buddhi, I got prasada, Swamiji. Suppose you got a little, almost just what you wanted, or less, you got prasada, Swamiji. Suppose you got opposite of what you wanted, what will you say? This is prasada. I will take prasada. My prarabdha, this is prasada. That is how we look at it. But still, at least you use the word prasada. Prasada means what really? Prasannata. Acceptance. See, acceptance of what is means your will is free to act. If there is non-acceptance, you waste your time resisting what you can't change. Resisting what you can't change, resisting a fact, is like hitting your head on a wall. You can't change it. Your entire past is given. You can't change it. We have to come to terms with it, that what is given. What I can do now, I can do. So spiritual growth would be what? That when situations come, I don't get terribly disturbed, nor do I get terribly high. I don't get exalted, nor do I sink depressed. So if I can accept the world as it is, knowing that the world offers really nothing to me, it neither takes anything away from me, nor does it give me anything. What should I see there? I should see, yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkha yonayaha evate. Whatever bhoga, whatever experience is gained in time by sense contact, if I exult in it, if I exult in it, that would become the cause for my crying. We say, whatever, if there is something in an event or something in the society, in samsara that makes you laugh, know that is a seed for you to cry. Because you think that's happiness, and it will make you cry. What will not make you cry? When you understand all these will go, none of them I can hold on to. So you grow in terms of viveka, you grow in terms of vairagyam, you grow in terms of emotional maturity, shamari shatka sampatti, and mukshutvam is what? You now see more and more goals are useless in life. So you see only one thing. The more you see one, that vyavasayatmika buddhi if you gain, that's a lot of growth. To quote Puja Swamiji, at the end of life, if one can go, when dying, say, there is only one goal really, I messed up this life. Only one goal. What is it? mokshameva. You made it. Even that is considered progress. So what is progress? You decide, okay? What is the difference between duty towards society, parents, versus duty that a seeker accepts towards Guru and Gurukulam as part of renunciation? As part of renunciation, does it mean sannyasa? Whose question? Is the questioner here? What is the difference between duty? Is the questioner here? Please feel free to say, okay. I don't have any problem with the question. I'm just wanting to know the question clearly. No one? The question is not here, I will not answer it. Is Krishna Ishvara? I'm saying you are Ishvara. Why only Krishna? Yes, Krishna is looked upon as Ishvara by us. That's why we say Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. You will not see in the Gita Shri Krishna Uvacha. He is Ishvara only. Correct. How to develop Viveka to discriminate a snake from a rope? Bhagavan. If you cannot distinguish a snake from a rope, you need a torch. Because Swami just said you need a good torch light and you need good eyes. See an eye specialist. If that doesn't help, you know what you should do next. I won't tell you. I don't know if that's the real question. If the question I have misunderstood, please explain to me. I'll answer it, okay? Jokes apart. Because snake from rope is easy, okay? You just need better light. But Atma and Atma is different. If that's the question, I would answer it. But snake and rope, you have to see a snake and rope as rope. What else can I say? When you see it, if you don't know, you take a stick and poke it. If it moves, okay, all right. How to understand that, yes. Then you ask that way. See, if you are snake and rope, what do I say? That's why I said I have to understand the question. Fair enough. Okay. Is the previous question also from you? Huh? That first one, difference between parents? No, not that. Okay. Only this. Okay. Distinguish between mithya and satyam. All right. See, you don't, what's the question? Discriminate, right? Okay. All right. See, the word viveka means discrimination. It is not how to develop viveka to discriminate. Viveka is discrimination. All right. Now, what do you see? Do you see one thing or two things? First, do you see one thing or two things? One. Correct? What is it? Now, first you need to understand that there are two things here. First, I will tell you, there is pot and there is clay. Are there two things? No, right? But first I need to make you aware that there is something called clay. Now, if you are aware of it, now the question is how to distinguish pot from clay. If you are not at all aware, it's one bundled conception. Typical Shastra example is what? Tapta ayaf pinda. A red hot iron ball. Red hot iron ball. What do you see? Red hot ball. You don't see iron separately, you don't see fire separately. So what do you say? That the ball ayodahati, the iron burns. Does the iron burn? Cold iron doesn't burn. What burns? Fire burns. Iron, is fire round? Ball? It's not. What is fire? Formless. Fire is the first form which is formless. Right? Therefore, what is the mix-up? You bundled fire and iron ball because they both appear in one single perception. And you said there is only one. This is called bundling or bungling. Both ways, okay? You mixed up two things. I'm saying bungling because you're an English professor. Okay? So now you mixed up two things. What should you know? First you should know there are two things you're mixing up. Right? And then, how will you know that? Only by seeing the cold iron separately. Otherwise, you won't. Right? You've seen a pot, right? And you somehow know it came from clay. Why? Because you've seen other clay things. You have some idea. So Satyam is what? Satyam is that which cannot go. Mithya is that which is dependent on Satyam. Satyam is that which is undeniable. If you use the word Satyam, I'm saying, absolute Satyam, then it is that which is Trikale Pitishtati, never is missing in all three periods of time. What is Mithya? Anything that starts in time, is seen in time, changes in time. Anything you know is Mithya. Bottom line. But the question should be more better if you understand that in anything, if there are two things mixed up, you have to be able to see. Generally, Satyam Mithya comes with a cause and effect. You miss the cause and see only the name and form, which is the effect. Okay? Okay. All right. I think I will leave because already 9:30. I don't want to make you all sit here till 10 in the night. So we'll stop here. Okay? We have another 3 or 4 questions to go. I'll mark it here. So probably Swamiji can look at it tomorrow. Okay. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yangsho Bharahitaha Brahmanas Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritangamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om